Hey everybody, how you doing today? My name is Buddy Blackford, and today we're going to be going over the threshold adjustment in Photoshop CS6. Now, what the threshold adjustment does is it reduces an image to only black and white pixels, and it bases it on the brightness levels. It's good for locating the highlights or the shadows of an image, or for creating some cool looking special effects. So, one of the special effects that I want to show you takes the adjustment a bit further and adds some more layers of depth to your image along with color. So this is the image, or this is the effect I wanted to show you how to do. It's basically just layers of the threshold option on top of each other, like this. So you can see where that's going. Now let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing I want to do is add the threshold to just a layer. Now you should probably, to follow along with the tutorial, bring in an image that's probably just like a person or an object with multiple like shades of light and dark in it. So that's why I picked a person. They've got shadows, and they're easy to see like the different facial features and everything that we can pull out and things like that. So let's go ahead and add the threshold adjustment. And you can see that it puts everything to black and white. The threshold level here means the point at which the color is black and then the color is white. So anything to the left here is it's going to be more white. So the white point has been lowered, so more things are more white. If you move it to the right, things are going to become more black. The black point has been lowered, so now things are going to become more black. So that's how the threshold, or that's how threshold works. So I'm gonna hit cancel. Now what I want you guys to do is for this next special effect that I'm gonna show you, we're gonna actually cut this guy out of his image so that it's just him on an empty background. Now, I mean, I'm not gonna show you how to do this because I have in other tutorials, but I just took the magnetic lasso tool, went around, and then I refined the edges so that they looked good, and then I cut them out. So now that we have this person cut out, I'm going to delete my other layers. So, that's good for now. Now, you can create a new layer, and we can make this a background layer. And I found that good background is a really dark color of the color that you want to use for your person. So I used dark blue. So my colors are all just going to go along this edge line right here. And those are the colors that I'm picking for mine. So they're all going to be blue. So okay, let's go ahead and duplicate the main layer 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, now we want to work on each layer alone, so we only want to solo each layer. So hold Alt and click on the eyeball of a layer, and that'll solo it. Make sure you have the layer selected, and now we're going to add the threshold adjustment. And we're going to start out at something low, like 50, 52 sounds good. We've got some eyes, and then we got some features here, and we've got this whole dark area. So this one is going to highlight the shadows, and it's always going to be black. We're not going to change it. So name that 52 because that was the threshold that we had. Now let's solo this layer, and we're going to add the threshold adjustment again. And this time we're going to come up a little higher. And I like coming onto these like little peaks and stuff like that. So I'm going to bring it up to 92. I'm going to hit OK. And then name this one 92. Solo this one. Add the threshold adjustment. And this one I'm going to keep at 128 because it's right in the middle. I'm going to hit OK. Name this 128. And the last one here, we're going to pretty much make almost all the way black. So image adjustment threshold, and let's jack this one way up over here, something like 190. OK. Now if we ever need to add any more shades in there, we can always duplicate our layer 1 here and then make another shade that's in between 128 and 90, depending on how it looks when we come out. So the next thing that we're going to do is get rid of all this white. So make sure you solo your top layer. Let's go to the magic wand tool. You're going to want to set the tolerance to 0 and uncheck contiguous. And then when I click on the white, it's just going to select all the white that there is, and all I got to do is hit delete, and that's gone. So deselect now. Control D is to deselect, and then solo your other layer. Select the white, delete, deselect, and do this with the rest of your layers. And delete that out. And now we have a bunch of layers that are just black parts. We just have black in our images. So the first one we have here is 52. That's going to stay black. The next one we're going to work on here, 92, we're going to change that to a new color. So this color is going to be, let's actually start with 190 here, because this is going to be our darkest color. So let's work from there. Let's work from darkest up, because I already have my background set to pretty dark. Alright, so go ahead and control click on the thumbnail image. It'll turn into like a little selection box there, and it'll select all the black. Now go ahead into your color swatch and pick, let's see, I'm going to pick a pretty light color here. So this is probably good, because this is going to be at the bottom of all your layers. So we've got our light color here. We'll just go to our paint bucket here, uncheck contiguous, and go ahead and paint in there. So make sure your contiguous is unchecked, or else it's gonna, if anything's broken apart, it's not gonna fill it all in. So let's go ahead to our next one here. Deselect what you had selected before, and now hold Alt to select this image. Well, for some reason mine doesn't want to do select. That's because I was holding Alt instead of Control. Alright, we got that. Now let's make this a little darker and add that in. Go on to our next one. And this one's going to be fairly dark as well. And then this one here we're just going to leave as black. And now we can turn our layers on and turn our background on. And now we've got our posterized image. And if you want to add more detail to the face or anything like that, go ahead and create a new layer, add it to the posterize it, or I mean threshold it. Sorry, not posterize. Add the threshold and to the part where you can see more facial features that are turning black, and some of it are white in the face, and that way you can grab more facial features. Now if you want to, you could turn on the bottom layer, layer 1, and you can add white into your image, and the only thing that's going to show is the highlighted areas, the things that are going to be white, because that's what we cut out during the posterizing effect. So that's all you're going to see there. So it's up to you what you want for the background, but I think a dark background that is in the same color area as the color that you picked for the person would be a good idea. So that's how you do this tutorial, and this is using threshold to create a new layered threshold effect. So thanks for watching, everybody, and have a good one.